Well, when I land my best punch on him, of course he will go down because it's like a 20-kilo weight difference. He's like a build-up cruiserweight. So, and I'm like a naturally born heavyweight. So that's a big difference. So that's what's gonna happen if I land my best shot clean. And if not, yeah, we're just gonna win.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Oleksandr, it is wonderful to see you back. Oh, sorry, go on.
Eddie joking.
He's kidding. He's kidding. It's wonderful to see you back, Oleksandr. I think the boxing world...
Really small, but size doesn't matter.
No.
I thought, yeah.
With this man, a new challenge for you as well as a coach.
Well, we go back a long way, actually, about 15 years. So I've always done the boxing side with Rico when he's trained Dennis, but for kickboxing. So now it's a different ball game because it's boxing. Styles are different, stances, and 1 to 100, you name it.
You're going to knock his head off.
Of course.
I think he's only been knocked down once. He's never been knocked, and that was a low blow. He's never been knocked down. You're going to have to go some, Rico.
Oh, what an opportunity I have here. I'm going to shock the world in front of the pyramids. It is crazy.
The press conference between Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven delivered spine-chilling moments for boxing fans. But it was Rico's warning to Usyk right after that left everyone absolutely shocked.
In as much or as little detail as you're going to, from the first bell, what are you going to do?
Knock his head off. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm, like I said, I'm like 55 pounds heavier. Yeah. So as soon as I hit him, it's gonna be something different.
You're gonna knock his head off.
Of course.
I think he's only been knocked down once. He's never been knocked, and that was a low blow. He's never been knocked down. You're going to have to go some, Rico.
Oh, what an opportunity I have here. I'm going to shock the world in front of the pyramids. It is crazy. In this crazy scene, it's like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. That's why I'm so excited.
With a kickboxing pedigree now refined under Peter Fury, Rico Verhoeven has transformed his hands into a blowing machine, and he's betting the weight behind every punch will be too much for Usyk.
I mean, tell me about your punch power. What is your knockout capacity? I mean, you can see Usyk in front of you.
I'm always like very calculated, but yeah, when I connect, I connect. Like I said, there's a lot of weight behind these punches. So yeah, of course, within the kickboxing sport, I was used to just throwing the kicks and doing my thing, but now we get the opportunity to use the hands more. So Peter is like, oh, he's like crazy excited. He's like, finally, because we've been throughout all these years, we've been debating so much because he's like, yo, Rico, you got to do a little bit more of this. You got to I said, Pete, I can't, because within kickboxing, that doesn't work. And now he's like, okay, I can teach you boxing to box.
On the other hand, Oleksandr Usyk remains completely unfazed, insisting this is just another fight for him with no pressure, regardless of Rico's background, while Rico fires back that he's bringing a puzzle Usyk simply cannot solve.
No, it's not pressure for me. Listen, it's just fight. It's a boxing fight. It's a normal. I prepare for this fight. Everything okay.
Final words then, Rico, to you. When you land your best shot, what do you believe can happen? Just tell the world how you believe you become world champion and become the first man in a professional ring to beat Oleksandr Usyk on May 23rd.
Well, when I land my best punch on him, of course he will go down because it's like a 20-kilo weight difference. He's like a build-up cruiserweight. So, and I'm like a naturally born heavyweight, so that's a big difference.
Experts see Rico's enthusiasm and confidence, but they warn his threat will mean nothing to Usyk, a true master of his own craft.
He's got absolutely nothing to lose here. He's got.
But does that make him even more dangerous, do you think?
That's exactly what it does.
Yeah.
It makes him more dangerous. It makes him more live. But Oleksandr Usyk, he doesn't buy into the pressure. He doesn't buy into, I've got it all to lose. He's just on his own planet. He's like, he exists in his own world, literally. And his world is, he goes to work, he works relentlessly hard, and then he just gets ready for fight night.
Well, it was interesting that he actually said up in the press conference that, because I don't think boxing is Usyk's life. I mean, he loves it. He's obviously done incredibly well at it, but it's not everything to him. And I think that probably is what makes him a little bit special as well.
Yes, he's a very spiritual man.
Malik Scott, former heavyweight contender and one man who has actually sparred Usyk, admits Rico's size could be a factor, but he gives Rico zero chance. Usyk, he says, is a generational talent and no easy puzzle to solve.
I think concerning size and him being familiar with combat sports, yes, as far as that he may be a threat, but as far as technicalities of boxing, this is a whole new world over here, and he's going to find that very early. He's not in with a top 20 guy. He's in with a generational talent, considering that's what Oleksandr Usyk is. So I would feel a little bit different about his chances if it wasn't Usyk that he's going against, but he's going against one of the most gifted fighters of all time.
Exactly.
Rico boasts full confidence against a fighter whom Tyson, AJ Daniel, and others have landed their best shots on but could not make go down. Yet Rico believes he has never been rocked the way it's described, and that Fury wobbled him with uppercuts, so he sees many ways to do it himself.
Rico, AJ, Dubois, they've all landed their best shots on Usyk. He hasn't gone down, he hasn't been knocked out. Why do you believe you have the power to do this?
I don't think so. I don't think they landed their best shot on Usyk, because he's so slithery. He's all over the place. So I think he didn't get like rocked the right way. In the Fury fight, he got the uppercut. He was rocked. He was like wobbly. So it's definitely, it can be done.
Adam Smith believes Rico Verhoeven, despite all the physical advantages he has, being tough and competitive, has a strong challenge in front of him to beat Oleksandr Usyk, who has sealed his position as the heavyweight king alive.
They're the legends back there. Oleksandr Usyk has sealed his place in history forever. One of the greatest fighters I've ever worked with, seen, been around. I'll really miss him when he's gone, really miss him. An absolute legend of a human being. Rico Verhoeven I don't know as well, but having got to know him a little bit better and knowing Peter Fury exceptionally well, I'm very close to Peter, another guy who is incredibly respectful and likable and honest and competitive and physically brilliant. So this is a challenge, a massive challenge for Rico.
While Usyk's choice of opponent has been debated, Adam Smith believes that Usyk, by all means having the right to choose what he wants, has in fact chosen a tough opponent with a kickboxing background to bring shock into the ring.
A step into the unknown. For Oleksandr, yes, finally he has a chance to choose an opponent, and he's done it by getting a great in another code, in another sport, into the ring.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia has been a vocal critic of this fight, noting that Usyk is the pound-for-pound #1, and choosing an opponent with no background in boxing merely for a money payday is disrespectful to the boxing community. Garcia argues that fans deserve to see Usyk face legitimate heavyweight contenders, not kickboxers crossing over. While Rico brings size and power, Garcia insists this fight undermines the sport's integrity and sends the wrong message to aspiring boxers everywhere.
You know, I know boxing, and for me, the moment that Tyson Fury, you know, it's a huge event. That I can't say, you know, it's a huge event. I mean, Usyk, it's a huge event. He's getting paid a lot of money. You know, the pyramids, all that advertisement, it's huge and it looks beautiful. But I'm gonna be a little critical about this, you know, for being in the pound for pound list to a lot of people, a lot of us, #1 pound for pound fighter. I don't think it's a fight, a type of opponent that a pound for pound #1 fighter needs to be taking. Yeah, the money's right, but when it comes to being named pound for pound the best fighter in the planet and fighting somebody that doesn't do boxing, if I'm mistaken, has one fight as a boxer years ago. We don't, you know, that to me that's a turnoff when it comes to the pound for pound king in boxing.
Chris Algieri, meanwhile, highlights not to underestimate the resume of Rico Verhoeven. He points to the fact that Rico has a similar track record of knocking down his opponents. Just like Oleksandr Usyk, Rico has defeated champions in kickboxing and has remained undefeated for over 10 years, something that has never happened in kickboxing. In this way, despite many viewing it as a mismatch, Chris insists that a true warrior in the form of Rico has stepped in to face the best heavyweight in boxing, Oleksandr Usyk.
Yeah, I have to agree in terms of the challenge, and this is not a knock on Verhoeven. Just to give you a little background of who Rico is. He's been an undefeated heavyweight champion in kickboxing, and I mean he's not undefeated, but he's been defending his title for the last like 10 or so years, which never happens in kickboxing. These guys knock each other off all the time. He has actually a similar track to Usyk in terms of how he's beaten all of his contemporaries more than once. He beats a guy, they go down the end of the ranking, he beats the next guy, that guy works his way all back up, Rico beats him again. Like he's been that dominant as the heavyweight kickboxing champion. He's a come from behind kind of guy. We've seen him get his eyes shut, he's been down, he's been almost out on his feet and then come back to win fight of the year type fights time and time again. He's an absolute warrior and a soldier and a true champion.
Having his own background in kickboxing, Chris Algieri points out that Rico has not been the best puncher and has far fewer knockouts compared to other kickboxers. But the only chance he sees for him against Usyk is his awkward style of fighting, which he thinks may just work. Having sparred Tyson Fury, Rico is considered to be someone who has some chances in terms of boxing. Algieri highlights that Dutch kickboxing style has boxing in it, making Rico a deserving opponent for Usyk.
Kickboxing, usually guys have more knockouts. I had far more knockouts in kickboxing than I did when I boxed. I was known as a knockout puncher kicker in kickboxing, and was certainly not that when I was boxing. So usually you see guys make that transition from kickboxing to boxing, their knockouts even go down. So this guy doesn't have a lot of knockouts to begin with. So his realistic chances against a guy like Usyk, other than just being awkward because he's not really a boxer, it's tough because he's not a big puncher. He has been sparring with Tyson Fury. We saw how good Tyson, I thought, looked in his last fight and coming off the couch, and they have been sparring for a bunch of years. And listen, I know the Dutch style of kickboxing. There's a lot of boxing in it. That's one of the reasons I was so good at kickboxing, was because I had hands. A lot of these guys, the best kickboxers in the world, can always punch. They always have good boxing.
On the other hand, Robert Garcia believes Rico does not stand any chance against Usyk. He insists that Usyk needs to fight those who are true challengers in order to defend his pound-for-pound #1 ranking. Garcia is confident that after handling Rico with ease, Usyk will move on to face real threats, not crossover kickboxers, to cement his legacy as the undisputed heavyweight king.
No, it doesn't have a chance. And look, Usyk, yeah, it's a big money grab and a fighter that, is going to make him a lot of money, great event. But yeah, he needs to come back and fight a big fight, because to me personally, I'm not too happy about it, because I just want to see Usyk fight the best challenges out there. He needs to take those best challenges. He needs to defend his pound for pound position. He is #1 in my list, so I want to see him defend that position, pound for pound. You got to fight the best out there, the biggest challenges. And yes, he's already beat most of the guys, but there's a lot of the guys that are pushing themselves to be there and to get there, that could give him a great challenge. So that's the fights that I want to see, and he will get at. I know him, I know his manager. They'll fight anybody. They're warriors. They love to fight. But this is just a little fight where he's gonna.
Former undisputed heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis has also shared his thoughts as the anticipation grows. He thinks Rico does not have a chance and doesn't really know what he can do to a guy who has never been beaten by the top-level heavyweights. Lewis makes it clear he sees Usyk winning it easily and sends a message to Rico: understand the fact that Usyk is not someone who can be beaten.
Okay, so I don't know who the other guy is, but I know Oleksandr Usyk has never lost a fight. So I'm just looking at him. I don't think anybody can beat him right now.
Tyson Fury's former sparring partner, Rico Verhoeven, is overflowing with confidence. The kickboxing king boldly claims he will not only beat Oleksandr Usyk, but then immediately set his sights on Anthony Joshua, the longtime rival of Fury. For Rico, this isn't just a fantasy. He sees a clear path to throne the pound-for-pound king first, then silence Joshua. Two massive heavyweight names, one fearless kickboxer, and Rico believes he takes them both down.
Seeing you work with Tyson Fury in the past, regardless of what happens in the Usyk fight, do we see you in the boxing world again against an Anthony Joshua, for example, and all the other guys in the heavyweight division?
Ooh, I would love that. I would love that. So, I stick my pinky into the boxing world, so I'm getting submerged into it.
What is the final prediction, final message before your fight against Oleksandr Usyk?
Oh, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm enjoying the opportunity, and what a great time to be alive.
Tony Bellew admits sparring with Fury gives Rico a unique advantage, but his warning is brutally honest. According to Bellew, Usyk might allow Rico to survive the first 2 or 3 rounds, almost giving him false hope. Then comes rounds 5 to 7. That's when everything changes. Rico won't have a clue what's hitting him or how to react. The pace, the angles, the intelligence, Usyk's true mastery reveals itself, and the kickboxer gets left behind.
He's been around a long time. He's been around Peter Fury a long time. So that gives me a little bit of confidence in him as well, because Peter wouldn't take on a mess. Peter wouldn't embarrass himself with taking on a clown. So it lets you know that he can definitely fight. But I just think Usyk's so clever and so wise. 2-3 rounds maximum, he'll figure them out. He'll have got the timing down to a T. And I think by round 5, 6, he'll be teeing off on him. And he won't know where they're coming from. So he's an amazing kickboxer. He's one of the best, you know what I mean? Listen, I think Ernie Usyk is the best kickboxer ever, but that's up for debate. But he's a strong guy. He's got very, very good hands for a kickboxer. But listen, you're coming into our discipline, and no one is ever going to come into our discipline and beat us at it.
Tony Bellew knows exactly what it means to share a ring with Usyk because he's lived it. Now, the former opponent has issued a chilling warning to Rico Verhoeven. Bellew says Usyk won't wait. He'll unleash tactics the kickboxing champion has never seen before and make him pay immediately. Forget the later rounds. Bellew predicts the damage starts inside the opening 2 minutes. Rico may be prepared for a war, but according to Bellew, he's not prepared for this.
He's been doing easy touch, hasn't he, for a while.
Well, he fought you.
I don't want to say he's an easy touch. I think it'll be really interesting for about 6 or 7 minutes. I think 1 or 2 rounds. And then I think once he figures him out, because he's going to be an absolute nightmare to prepare for. He's going to be throwing punches from all kinds of mad angles. He's going to be doing things that he should never be doing. He'll be really awkward, really crazy for the first few rounds. And then I think he'll figure him out, and then he'll punish him.
Have you seen that, Verhoeven?
Yes.
Tony, we're talking a bit before as well that he's sparred with the Furies, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He's been in the camp with the Furies for many years. He spars many rounds with Hughie Fury. He sparred hundreds of rounds with Tyson Fury.
Rico thrives on confidence, boldly claiming he'll knock the head off Usyk. But Teddy Atlas issues a stark reality check. 0 chance. In Atlas's view, the ball is entirely in Usyk's court. The Ukrainian genius can decide how, when, and where he outboxes the kickboxer. Round by round, moment by moment, Atlas sees no path to victory for Rico, only a waiting game. Usyk's ring IQ will dictate everything. Rico doesn't get a vote, he just gets whatever Usyk decides to give him.
What's his chances? What's Verhoeven's chances? I think slim and none, to be honest. I looked at film on him, and yeah, he's big. He's 6'6", 270. Fury was big too, but Fury was a professional boxer. This guy, as I said, he doesn't have that background. He stands straight up. He's had 76 fights. He's won 66. He's got 26 knockouts. He's not a huge puncher. You know, his best punch is the right hand. That can be effective against the southpaw. Usyk's a southpaw. That can be the southpaw killer. I get it. It's not going to be. Again, Usyk's too versatile, too good for him. His defense, his offense. I think it's going to come down to where Usyk, you know, it's up to him.
Adam Elliott is going against the grain. While others dismiss Rico Verhoeven, Elliott warns that underestimating the kickboxing king is a massive mistake. In his eyes, Rico isn't just dangerous, he's the most dangerous. More than Conor McGregor, more than Alex Pereira, more than Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua. Given the choice, he'd happily fight all those names, but Rico, he would refuse. Why? He hits harder than every single one of them, and he's convinced the Dutch giant will shock the world against Usyk.
Honestly, hand on heart say, if you were to give me any man on the planet to stand and fight King Kong with, right, and give me any single man on the planet, I'd pick Rico Verhoeven, because to me, he is the hardest that I have ever met. You put Usyk, AJ, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right? And say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? Rico Verhoeven. He is that dangerous of a man. And with the kickboxing, and again, people just don't know this, is kickboxing is like three-minute rounds. The intensity is insane. They are punch, kick, punch, kick, punch, kick. They are just, they're fierce. And if Rico brings that into the boxing, I think it's going to be a big surprise for Usyk. I'm not going to say he's going to win, but I think he's going to shock the world. He's got every chance to win, and I think people are massively underestimating Rico.
Tyson Fury knows Usyk intimately. He's shared rounds with the Ukrainian as a former rival, but after extensive training alongside Rico Verhoeven, Fury admits something has changed. The experience has built genuine belief in Rico's ability to dominate Usyk, a conviction Fury couldn't honestly claim before stepping into the ring with the kickboxing champion.
I remember they wouldn't sanction me and Ngannou for the title. That wasn't a title fight. That was like a special, whatever, an exhibition type thing. So I'm not sure.
Has he got a chance?
He's a big man, isn't he? He's a big man.
Big right hand that
big
knocks
right
people out.
Yeah, I've seen it. But I'm sure Usyk's faced plenty of right hand people who can knock people out, hasn't he? I.e. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. He's fought a lot of big men with a similar style to Rico. But he's a big man. He's got a chance. He's got power. Who knows what he can do in there? But Usyk's, what is he, 39 years old now? But the thing with him is he's only had 24 fights, so he doesn't have a lot of mileage on the clock. And he turned pro in late 2013, so I think he's going to be all right.
Now, though, Fury sees real danger for the man he once fought. Rico isn't just hoping to win. Fury believes he actually can. So who wins? Does Rico shock the world, or does Usyk school another hype train? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the moment these two giants collide, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because when the kickboxing king meets the pound-for-pound genius, you'll want to be watching live. See you in the next round.